the birthplace of the Bohemian Revolution. From Cowork 591 Studios, this is the Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network with co-host Dale Rueber and special guest Jill Chemin, plus producer Blake Tempus. I'm Jim Gillespie, and this is the Jesup News for June 26th, 2023. On today's podcast, we have Jill Chemin, who's going to talk about Buchanan County Tourism. We talk about winners and losers. We do the 9th segment of Og Mandino's book on how to be successful. We look at the events inside the Steve Brown Arts Center. We give you the top stories in Jesup. We discuss service and arts. But tonight, we're going to start first with Jill Chemin. Welcome, Jill.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jill, first, what's your title with Buchanan County?
The Buchanan County Director of Tourism.
Okay. And I guess what's your responsibility?
So I am trying to grow and promote all of the activities and events and attractions that we have in our area for Buchanan County and try to drive tourism into our county.
Okay. It is, do you go out and recruit as far as you go out of the area, or is that in your plans?
It is in our plans, yes. We've been talking about how we could possibly go into other parades and different things to promote our county to outside areas.
Oh, that's neat. So, Jill, what are some of your outlets for how people can find out what's going on in Buchanan County?
Sure. On our social media, on Facebook, Buchanan County Tourism, or on our website is travelbuchanan.com. Those are two of the best places to look.
What surprised you about your job so far, Jill?
Just meeting all the people. I love getting to know so many different people that I never met yet, and I'm excited to meet all the other people I haven't met yet.
All right. Well, tell us about your family a little bit.
Yeah. So I was born and raised basically here in Jesup. My husband is from Michigan, and we have 3 children, and we still reside in Jesup.
Okay. What's your husband's first name?
Brian.
Brian. Okay. And do you want to shout out your children? Great chance to
Yeah.
to say hi to your kids here.
So Carter is my oldest, and McKinley is the middle, and then Gabby is my youngest.
You were telling us before the show got started that you got one going into high school.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
No pressure. That's
How did you get the guy here from Michigan?
He moved here for John Deere.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Jill, what did you do prior to working for Buchanan County?
Yeah. I've done a lot of different things, from city council to real estate, but my latest was secretary at Don Bosco High School.
Okay. I was at Bosco for 1 year. It's a neat place to be.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Through the show tonight, Jill, we'll throw it to you a little bit and ask you what you have going on in the county and what should people watch for. Feel free to jump in with Dale and I.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, on the news tonight they were talking about Sturgis Falls. Mm-hmm. And the last report they had, or the last time anybody figured it, was almost 10 years ago, but they said it was worth like between $4 and $5 million to the economy of Cedar
Yes.
Falls. Now, I'm assuming Buchanan County thinks that your position will bring money into Buchanan County.
Absolutely.
Okay, is there a way that how people figure how much extra money is brought in because tourists come in or that sort of thing?
Yes. The Travel Iowa is the Iowa Travel Tourism,
Mm-hmm.
and they have report called the Arrival List, and that has all that information on how much is brought into the county, how many overnight stays you've had, and what months you have the most visitors, things like that.
Oh, okay. I know last year, I think it was Our Iowa magazine had tours, and they stopped at Jesup, and I can't think of her name. It makes the cupcakes.
Oh, Rachel.
Rachel was catering it, and so I was down in there doing a little thing. But they were going out to the Amish area, to some of the stores, and I suppose just to see some farms. And is there some way you can coordinate with the Amish community as far as bringing more people in, or?
Yes. We're working on getting new maps put out of the different shops in the Amish community. And then there's also some possibility of some tours being set up.
Okay. These people were from all over.
Right.
And I don't know how much money they spent in Buchanan County, but they had been in the Amandas, I think, before they came here, and they were going somewhere else afterward. But I guess it was good for Rachel's business, so there was money spent there, I'm
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
And so
And we've-
they didn't pay me. So
What takes up the majority of your time, Jill?
So right now it's kind of the behind the scenes work, getting stuff set up with Travel Iowa so that people can find us on their website. And then we're just reworking on our website. We have to put out a new travel guide, so we're working on that. And then the Amish maps.
Okay. Okay, so
And does every town, like Jesup Farmers Day is coming up, and like Fairbank Days, and I know Aurora, they have Aurora Days, there's Hayes Days. Does every community have a little thing like that? or-
Just about. There's a few that don't necessarily have a town celebration, but they have different events in
Okay.
this place. Mhm.
So, really push up the frying pan over at
Yeah.
Brandon. Yeah, see.
Yep.
And several of my kids have had their picture taken in that frying pan. So,
Yeah.
have you, Jim, you ever been there? to the frying pan?
I've
Okay.
been
All
I've
right.
been to the cowboy breakfast. The
Oh,
cowboy
okay.
breakfast is
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, anything dealing with food is good, Dale.
Well, really, if you sat down and made a list of all the different things that would bring people into the county, actually, it'd be quite a good list.
Yeah. Yep.
If you don't think about it from a single point of view, you get them all together, that'd be a nice list. So,
So, like in your office, Jill, do you have a giant calendar of events going on?
No, not necessarily in the office, but in my computer. I
Okay.
definitely do.
it's a modern age.
Yeah, it is a modern age. I would have like a calendar
would too,
the,
yeah.
the size of
That's what
that
I-
wall there,
So,
things set up. I'm a visual person, Jill.
Sure.
So, let's start a little bit. What's an upcoming event? This comes out Monday the 26th.
Okay.
This podcast. So, what's an upcoming event?
The next one that we have coming up is Friday, June 30th, is the Jesup Lions Club Truck and Tractor Pull, and that is from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m.
Okay. One other question before we go on with the show here. Do you have like a contact person in each community in the county, or a go-to person? Or?
Yeah, we do. And then each county or each community also has like a community club generally that we can reach out to too as well and help them promote their events that way.
so a lot of your new responsibilities are making a lot of personal contacts, I would imagine, in all these towns and
Yes.
getting the group. Yeah, okay. That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Throughout tonight's show, Jill's going to give us events that are going to go on this summer and probably fall a little bit. So thanks for being here with Dale and I, Jill.
Thank you.
So remember, the Steve Brown Arts Center is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that has a vision for artists, young and old alike, to have the opportunity to better themselves while helping to build the skills of those around them. It will be offering community programming starting in Jesup, Iowa, before expanding to neighboring communities. With Jill joining us, this affords us that opportunity. Programming will include a community speaker series that will showcase existing creatives who reside within the community, as well as a pop-up series that will spotlight and partner with local businesses to provide opportunities for community engagement. The long-range vision is to house a rural artist residency program for professional and emerging artists in all areas of the arts and humanities. Artists will be offered accommodations and studio space in exchange for a contribution of labor and maintenance of the buildings and grounds. Dale, do you have any update on Farmers Day?
Yeah, a few. We have, I don't know, I'm trying to remember what the last time I talked about Farmers Day. We had a rocket up during the car cruise, and it looks really, really nice. And we had several nice comments on it. And the NASA ambassadors that are going to be here, there's only 2 of these that they made. We have the second one. There's only 2 of them, and we're going to use it kind of as in front of where they're going to be speaking is a sign, and they're thinking they'd like to have it, and so we're hoping that they will buy it from us because we got a lot of money sunk in that thing, and we need to get some of it back.
Right.
But it looks really, really nice. We have a chance to get an astronaut. It's 80% maybe.
Really?
Yeah, we'll have an astronaut come to be available to talk with people and sign memorabilia and that sort of thing. So that's looking pretty good. So I think there's going to be, and I gave you the schedule, but and the signboards over there in the park, and all of the big activities are on there. So there's a lot of nice talent, and the main thing is you can come. It's all free. All the entertainment is free. And so if you want to buy food or carnival rides, that sort of thing, that's up to you. But the entertainment in the pavilion is all free. And so I just emptied we got funnel cake mix and donut mix now, ready to go. And the Methodist Church is going to do the popcorn and the ice cream. And we bought a brand new popcorn popper.
Okay.
And a table to put it on. And we bought oil and popcorn too, and bags.
All right.
So we're going great guns, see? And then if we get Shelley to come down from the Dairy Cone and show us how to run the ice cream machine, we'll be in business, see? So things are going really well. It's coming together really well, I think. I think it's going to be a great, with the weather is good. We're going to have a great program. So I hope a lot of people will come from all over the county and all over the state. So,
well, one of the things the Steve Brown Arts Center is involved in, we special the grand prize winner of the art show.
okay.
That's one thing we're involved in. We're also doing the StoryCorps at the band pavilion for 2 or 3 segments this year. Last year we were there as well, and the Farmers Day Committee was kind enough to let us use the pavilion again, or the band pavilion again this year. Some of the highlights: the first night, Mayor Chris Evans speaks or does a welcoming speech at 7 p.m. in the Park Pavilion. The Prince and Princess Committee or contest is at 7:05. The Boy Scout eating contest is at 8:30. Dale, can we plan on you being on
Well,
that or not?
they're serving ice cream this year, so I get these real bad brain freezes, with too much
Okay.
ice cream, and so otherwise I'd be right in the middle of it. So
All right. And then Belvins and Powers are on at 9 o'clock to wind up the night.
we also have all those inflatables that night,
Okay.
and all these inflatables and the hatchet throwing and all that's the inflatables. There's a wristband. I think the hatchet throwing is free. You can throw at the targets and everything.
Right.
But the inflatables, there's a wristband charge, I believe, of $10 for the fire department, and so there is that. And I was one more thing that's new is that, and this was Kevin West's idea, which we thought
Kevin was a
great.
guest on here.
Was he really? Yeah, no, I talked to him.
Yeah, I know you did.
We're gonna have a big pile of sand. We're gonna have moon rocks in there, and the kids can dig in there, and if they find a gold or silver moon rock, well, that'd be worth a prize to them. See?
Oh, cool.
We're gonna reload the sand pile every now and then, and so maybe 2 or 3 different times we'll have a time period where the kids can come in and dig for moon rocks, and so I think that'd be a lot of fun for the kids. So,
Okay. So that is July 6th, 7th, and 8th, correct?
close enough. It's somewhere. It's after the 4th of July. That's all I know.
Yep. July 6th, 7th, and 8th. Then they have one event, I believe. I believe there's a special event, Sunday, July 10th, the Community Gospel Hour and Ice Cream Social with Bill Crystal in the Park Pavilion at 2 o'clock, and that's free as well. That's the first time, I believe.
No, that'd be the 3rd year we've done that.
Oh, the third year.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You need to go to church more.
You're right, Mr. Rueber.
I
You
should've
are
said-
right.
No, it's a gospel hour, and mainly he sings, and a lot of gospel songs, and some patriotic songs, and we have ice cream and cake and cookies and that sort of thing, and it's all free, and so it's just kind of a nice farewell to Farmers Day each year, and there's room for more people. I guess I'll just say that there's room for more people to come than came last year.
Right.
So, all right, but it's a fun time. And old Bill has been here, I don't know, 10, 11 years in a row, and
Okay.
this is something that he just kind of throws in on. It's not something that we pay him for.
Neat.
He just stays over and does it for us, and works out real nice. So.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Joe, tell us, give us another event you got that you know about going on in Buchanan County here this summer.
Monday, July 3rd through the 4th is Celebrate Indy and Independence with the live music and, of course, the parade and fireworks.
Right.
Some games. I think they're doing some wrestling this year. So.
And what's the banner? There's a banner now about the walking in the park, or
The River Walk
The
Parks.
River Walk
Yep,
Park.
that's down by the river where a lot of the activities happen.
okay, so that's along with that's the 3rd
Yep.
and 4th. Okay, they don't have a date on there, so I didn't
Yeah,
know if it's a
yep.
separate event or not. Okay.
Neat. Thank you. So that's a big 5 days there in Buchanan County. The 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
The 3rd and 4th are the Celebrate Indy, and then the 5th through the 9th are the Buchanan County Fair.
Okay, there you go. So there's a lot going
Yeah.
on in the county.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
There is.
Well, Dale, let's go to a normal segment that we have, the winners and losers of the week. I don't know if you've had a chance to think about it.
Yeah. Well, I guess I talk about Hunter Biden. I guess, and I don't know if he's a winner or a loser in this case. I can see it both ways, but I can see him back in 15 and 16, probably somebody saying, Hunter, you shouldn't be doing drugs and not paying your taxes because, it looked bad for your dad when he runs for president. He said, hey, my dad's 100 years old. He's not running for president. And then, he actually does run for president and win. And so now it's looking bad for him. But it sounds like he was having a lot of personal and physical problems back then and didn't pay his taxes. And then the gun charge, I guess, if they ask you, when you're buying a gun, I didn't realize this. Are you using illegal drugs? And if you say yes, they can't sell you the gun.
Really?
That's so I thought, okay. I thought anybody could buy a gun, but so he bought a gun because he was a drug user and he bought a gun that was a charge against him. But that sounds like that's going to be dropped.
Okay.
But and the Republicans are in a kind of an uproar, but the Department of Justice said, hey, we kept our hands entirely off of it. It started before we were here, and the prosecutor is a Trump appointee, and we gave him full authority. We have not interfered with him in any way, and if you have any questions about why he's making this deal, you need to talk with him, so they're looking pretty good at it, but then, of course, the Republicans are outraged that he get off so easy, and they're going so hard after their guy, and so I guess I'll say Hunter is a winner in most ways. I think people were looking at something much, much worse for him. And so I will say that he kind of won a little bit here.
Okay. That's interesting. You would have him as a winner. My winner is high school yearbook director Serena Andrews. She spends at least a month and a half every summer working on the yearbook. At least 4 hours a day, all summer long, and it is an amazing task that she has. Jill, did you have Serena?
Yeah, I was actually on yearbook with her.
Yeah, and she is such a detail person and such a perfectionist that she won't leave it alone until it's perfect.
Right.
And because of that, she's my winner this week.
That's a good winner.
Yeah. Who's your loser then?
My loser is the Iowa High School boys. The company that has the contract to televise all the championships and all the sports has decided that for streaming, you have to pay $10 for one event or $19 like for the whole tournament. And as I understand it, the high school boys union is actually suing them or going after them, trying to get them to change that policy. And So I think the state of Iowa, if you look at the girls' union, everything's on public television, and you can watch it all over the state. Whereas with the boys, you have to really know where to find it, and you pay for the streaming now and this sort of thing. And so they're wanting to charge. So I would say the Iowa High School Boys Athletic Union, whatever they're called, they would be my losers right now because it's looking bad for them compared to what the girls' athletic union does for the girls. So.
Yeah, I can remember I was still teaching and coaching when they signed the contract with that company.
I think it's 2006, I believe they said today.
Yeah,
So.
and a lot of people were up in arms that it doesn't cover the whole state either.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're very right. Yeah.
So that's a good choice. My loser is the carbon capture pipeline going through people's properties. There's a lot of people up in arms about that, and there's fights in the court. They've backed a lot of this off, Dale, and I don't see this going through at the end. It's sort of like the windmills that have went up around Iowa.
Have you heard anything about windmills just south of town here, out by the interstate?
I haven't.
20? Someone was talking about that last week, that someone is working to put up X number of windmills. Somebody's ready to sell them or lease them the land or whatever, and that they have to have the hearings, but there's a lot of no windmill signs up, and the neighbors are not real thrilled with all this going on. And so that's all I heard was just one person talking about it, but they seem pretty sure of themselves. So
I've read the charter of Jesup, and it talks about how things cannot be built within a certain amount of miles of Jesup. So I would be surprised, if it was very close to Jesup.
well, they had a thing in Texas. If any of your neighbors within 25 miles complain about your windmill, then you have to go through some special process to get it approved and keep it. So 25 miles in Iowa, there would be no windmills because
Right.
they just can't get them that far apart. So.
Well, Jill, you talked about the Buchanan County Fair, so give us those dates again.
That is July 5th through the 9th.
Yeah. Do you know the show? Do you know any of the shows or not? I've heard them and I can't remember.
I know, same here.
Yeah.
The one main guy that they had last.
They've done a nice job recently of bringing in some pretty good shows.
Yeah.
So.
And I'll stick in here. We've had this many years that Farmers Day and the county fair are the same weekend, and it's not our choice. If we're going to have the carnival we have, which is a very good carnival, then we have to use the date that they give us, and so that's why we're always going to say we cannot move. And so we don't like going head-to-head against the fair, and I don't think the fair probably likes it. But there's nothing we can do about that and still have the carnival. But like I say, well, we were here first, and then the fair moved their date. And it wasn't the fair's fault either. When they moved up the state fair, then all the county fairs had to move up to get their people approved to go to the state fair. And so it's just one of those things. But there's no malice or forethought. It's just the way it worked out, and it's nobody's fault. It's just the way it is. And so.
And luckily they're close, so hopefully they can go to both of them.
Well, that's the thing. That's what we always hope.
Right.
Yeah, because we want the fair to be successful, and we want our own show to be successful also. And next year it may be different because our carnival, because of the 4th of July being towards the end of the week, our carnival will not be able to come here.
Okay.
But we are working to get a different one. And if we do that, we'll probably be a different date. And we said we're willing to move our date. We just, and then the next year it would probably be back, but at least that one year it
Right.
might be different. So, so that's what we're trying to do that. So, okay, just now you know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good information.
Yeah. All right. In library news this week, the Little Tot Story Time meets every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. for songs and stories and more. The Spice Club, the June Spice, is Tajin. I get yours today at the front desk. The Summer Story Time in the Park. Join us each Thursday morning in June at various parks in Jesup. This week, It's at Parker-Muncie Pioneer Park, between the streets of 10th, Church, and Ainsworth. The summer reading program help us promote reading for all ages under the theme All Together Now. For summer 2023, join us every Wednesday in June at 10:30 a.m. This week's theme is kindness. Movie Monday, today at 1 p.m. for 80 for Brady. That's the Academy Award nominee Lily Tomlin and winners Jane Fonda, Rita Moreno, and Sally Field star in a hilarious and heartfelt comedy inspired by a true story of friendship and adventure. 4 lifelong friends set out on an unforgettable journey to see their hero Tom Brady play in Super Bowl 51 and witness one of the greatest comebacks in sports history, discovering that it's never too late to live life to the fullest. Duke Otherwise, clever lyrics and superb music on Wednesday, June 28th. That's this Wednesday at 1 p.m. at Jesup Elementary School. With his guitar, tap shoes, and distinct baritone, Duke sings hilarious and imaginative songs that are outrageous, fun for all ages. The Jesup Public Library program is free and open to the public. Fontana Critters help us send off the red-eyed tree frog and welcome our July critter from Fontana Park on Wednesday, July 5th at 11 a.m. The Jesup Public Library will be closed for Independence Day observance July 4th. Closed for Farmers Day. A reminder, the JPL closes at 4 p.m. Thursday, July 6th, and remains closed through the weekend for Farmers Day celebration. Support the Jesup Public Library and buy Velvet Coffee and the Bookworm Blend. Also, you can buy a Polar Camel water bottle. It's easy for you to say, Dale. New things to check out. The Jesup Public Library is more than books. Remember, you can get STEM activity bags, cookie cutters, and more at no charge through interlibrary loans. Don't forget the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. We are excited to bring you and your children the gift of books. The free service is available for children age 0 to 5 living in the Jesup School District. A new age-appropriate book will be mailed every month until their 5th birthday. Enroll online today. And then don't forget the 1,000 books before kindergarten. You are your child's first teacher, and your home is where your child begins to learn.
Do you have any new books or on the list?
There's nothing on the list, Mr.
Okay.
Rueber. You're a good customer there. Have you seen any new books in there?
Well, I've seen some new books, yes, and I'm reading one about the search for the city of Z, and it's about this famous explorer. I can't think of his name right now, of course. Exploring in the Amazon rainforest, and it was one of the last places on Earth to really be explored. And he's looking for this lost city. I'm only halfway through it, so I don't know if he finds it or not. I've never heard of anybody finding one there, so I don't think he does.
Right.
But it's amazing, the diseases and parasites, and I mean, that's no place to go. And the natives are they know lots of different ways to make you dead. So,
Yeah.
I should have volunteered to read that. I'm sorry, with your throat.
That's all right. No, you're doing fine there. So Jill, give us another thing going on in the county this
Okay.
month.
We have a couple more. Aurora is having their 4th of July celebration on the 4th. Raleigh Days is having their 150th celebration
All right.
on Friday, July 21st through Sunday, July 23rd. And then I think you're going to talk a little bit more about Littleton's Watermelon Day.
Yep.
That's coming up as well.
Thank you for that mention. As far as co-work has the Burrito Express today from 11 till 7. Franny's from Edgewood is here tomorrow, the 27th, from 11 till 2. And Wile E. Coyote Grill is here the 28th, Wednesday from 11 till 6. So make sure you stop by. Kelly does an incredible job of bringing food trucks to the.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize there were so many around.
Yeah,
It's just amazing.
it is. So those are the 3 that we have this week. So stop in. Also stop in to see Kelly about possibly getting a membership here at Cowork 591.
Did you stop? The ice cream people that are going to be at Littleton were here. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And I wanted to come and see what they were like, but I never got a chance to. Did you have a chance to stop? Or?
I was out of state that day,
Okay.
so I didn't have the opportunity.
Okay, so neither one of us know any more than we did before. Okay.
No.
No one is surprised.
Jill, can you tell us anything about rolled ice cream?
Yes.
What is rolled ice cream?
It's just like it says, it's rolled and then they stick it in the cup. And my daughters came and tried some. They really enjoyed it.
All right.
And what about the rolling makes it better? Or?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It just makes it more fun.
Okay. It's the presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. We have no good news here. We have no obituaries from White's
Oh,
Funeral Home.
that's very good.
That is very good.
Yep. How do you feel?
I'm feeling froggy.
All right.
Gonna jump
Well,
probably.
good. All right.
Yep.
All right.
I have a story though about a unincorporated town similar to Littleton.
Okay.
So before we talk about that unincorporated town, let's talk about the Littleton Free Watermelon Day. Jill, what date is that?
That is Saturday, July 29th,
Okay, do you have the times or not?
noon to 8.
Noon to 8. So some of the music from 1 to 3. We have Belvins and Powers. Belvins and Powers also playing Farmers Day
Yes, they
this
are.
year.
And they've played several times at Farmers Day, and they do a nice job.
Yes, they do. Chet Reagan music with Mandy McCleary plays from 3 to 5.
She does a nice job, too.
Yes, Mandy's an exceptional singer. Chet has a repertoire of songs that is endless. And the Bad Habits Band plays then from 6 till 8. The venues for those, Belvins and Powers is at Reyes Concrete. Reagan and McCleary are at the Littleton Chatham Historical Society stage, and the Bad Habits Band is on the Reyes Concrete stage those nights. We have a wonderful donation of stages from Mayor Chris Even.
Okay.
And
He was here talking about that.
he
Yeah,
was,
did a nice
yes,
job.
yes. He's providing picnic tables. He's providing tents and chairs and the like. We also have a special artist we've had here before. Barb Prawl will be doing a painting in the Littleton Lounge that day from about 2 until 5. She's amazing. I'm going to try to talk her into doing that intersection and then making some prints and using that as a fundraiser for the Steve Brown Arts Center.
Yeah. No, she has wine with hers, right? Is that a...
Well, because of some insurance problem and some legal problems, we can do wine with her.
You can or cannot?
We cannot.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Those pesky lawyers. again.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
All right.
Insurance.
Yeah, insurance costs almost double and triple when you get alcohol
Yeah.
with any activity.
It does. But Barb is a wonderful Irish. If you can,
Even sober, you'll have a good time.
you will.
All right.
If you get a chance, she has a studio in Marion,
Okay.
and it's not only her studio, but she sells her work out of it. She does 4 pieces of art a week, and she's 90 years old.
Yeah.
She frames her own stuff.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
2 other artists we have a colored pencil artist by the name of Bruce Gordon from Grundy Center, and Helen Hunter, a watercolor artist from Marion as well. So we urge you to get to see them as well that day. We are taking bets.
Can you do that?
We are. For entertainment purposes only.
Oh, okay.
We are taking bets.
Okay.
Of how many people will come, we're insured for 250 people.
Okay.
So we would like to see more than 250 people.
Yeah.
But if we see more than 250 people, you might see me do a cartwheel that day, Jill.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah.
Okay.
We shared it on social media and had over 9,000 views. So
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful. Wow, I'm going to have to practice my cartwheels.
I think you better, Chris. People will come now
Oh,
just
my
to see that.
Yeah. As far as food, we have free watermelon from 4 to 5 provided by the Independence FFA.
Get that many people through the line in just an hour? Or?
We will find a way,
All
I
right.
promise.
Okay.
You know, if I've got to throw it on the ground and break them to do it, we'll do that.
You're a real problem solver.
I am.
Okay.
The Lions Club will be serving hamburgers and bratwursts, hot dogs, etc. Out of the garage there at the Littleton Lounge. Boyd's food truck will be there, and Totally Rolled Ice Cream from Northeast Iowa will be there as well. The sponsors include Littleton Lounge, Reyes Concrete, the Littleton Chatham Historical Society, Jacobson's Fabrication and Repair, Dream Chaser Acres, Boyd's Food Truck, the Jesup Lions Club, Independent School FFA, Thomas James, Totally Rolled Ice Cream from Northeast Iowa, Even Events and Rentals, Derek's Repair Shop, and the Independence Bulletin Journal is also a sponsor of the first year. So, Jill, what else do we have going on in the county?
So we have Brandon Days, August 4th and 5th, and Lamont Days, also August 5th.
So the Brandon Days, is that where they have the cowboy breakfast, or is that separate?
That's separate. That's in the fall.
In the fall, okay.
Yep, but they'll have a parade, and they've got a bunch of different, I think they have a baseball game and food and music and all that.
Okay, well, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. So, Mr. Rueber, I've got a question for you. Do you know what's the difference between an incorporated town and an unincorporated town?
Well, as I understand, a corporated town would have a city government,
Okay.
and an unincorporated town would not have a city government, and it's the county that provides the city services, the police and fire and that sort of thing.
Well done.
Okay.
Very good. Exactly.
Is that it? Okay.
Exactly, Dale.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
You don't
And
need to sound so surprised.
so, well, and I don't. That was the definition I was looking for.
Oh, okay, well, I'm glad I was able to provide it.
Yeah. The Littleton is an unincorporated town, although Niall McMartin for many years has been called the mayor of Littleton.
Sure, yeah.
But it's only in love that people call him the mayor.
Yeah, you don't have to have those elections. that
That's right.
Cause trouble, yeah.
That's right. But anyhow, there is an unincorporated town in Texas that I'll bet you probably all three of you know. It is called Lukenbach, Texas.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that, Jill?
I have not.
Really?
I have, it's in a song, right?
Yes, it is. A song by Waylon Jennings.
Texas and Willie and the Boys.
Yeah,
okay.
and Waylon and the Boys.
Yeah.
Very good. The actual name of the song is Back to the Basics of Love.
Okay, I
But-
did not know that. So.
Yeah, but it is about Lukenbach, Texas, and so this reptile alien here that you're looking at has a story about Lukenbach, Texas. Years ago, was dating a lady from a suburb of Austin called Pflugerville.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Pflugerville?
No, I have not. No.
Pflugerville. Spell it, and you win a grand prize selected especially for you, Dale. It's PF.
Oh, okay. See, I would have missed it.
Yeah,
It's like Flash Phelps on Sirius Radio.
There you
So
go.
He's a PF
yeah.
or PH guy. I don't know.
But
Never mind.
I won't embarrass her and say her name, but her
Okay.
sisters called her Mosh.
Okay.
Mosh was from East Africa, and I told my cousin Diana many times that I had outkicked my coverage with Mosh. She was far better than I deserved to be around, but she had terrible taste in music
Oh, I thought you were going to say in men.
Well, probably that too. That's
Okay.
probably why
I'm
she hung
sorry.
around me. But she had 3 daughters, and her daughters had a huge influence. So she liked the modern stuff.
Sure.
Well, when I started hanging around her, I started trying to influence her with the country and western. You go to West Texas, and country and western are country and western swing is the type of music.
Yeah. I like that. Is it the Blues Brothers movies, or where the guys said we play both kinds of music, country and western?
Exactly. Well, she didn't want anything to do with it, but I used to sing to her Waylon's song "Back to the Basics of Love,"
Okay.
and
Did that cement the relationship?
she put up with it.
Okay.
But she Lugenbach was 100 miles away from Pflugerville, and so I played her people like Ray Wiley Hubbard and Drunken Poet's Dream, In Spite of Ourself by John Prine, and Dublin Blues by Guy Clark. And finally convinced her not only to like that long-haired hippie stuff,
Yes.
but like some country and western stuff. And then I played for her one day a Todd Snyder song, which he talked about Lukenbach, Texas, and how people would steal the sign from Lukenbach, Texas, and get lost. Now, there's a reason I'm not saying her name. I don't want the Texas Rangers going to her house, as I tell you this story.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. But on weekends, when I would go visit Mosh, we would take Highway 290 west and go to Texas Hill Country and drive to Lukenbach, Texas. And her goal was to always steal a sign, but everybody else's goal was to steal that sign too. So it was never there. We never got it done. So Mr. Ranger, please don't go to her house.
Yes.
I'm asking you politely. But Lukenbach was a town with a population, and they said it was a population of 3, Jill.
Okay.
But really, its population is 0. All that's there is sort of a dance hall like the Littleton Lounge.
Okay.
Okay, and so that during the week they have music live music every night, and a lot of it's outside. And there's 500-year-old oaks that sit around. It's a beautiful place. A lot of guys on Harley Davidsons and sitting around it. It was bought back in 1970. Lugenbach was bought by a man named John Hondo Crouch for $30,000.
So he owns the whole town.
He owned the whole town.
Okay.
And Mr. Crouch died at the age of 59, but his heirs own the bar there and something like 70 acres around the bar.
Yeah.
It's at an intersection, is what it's like, sort of like Littleton, it's at an intersection there. It's a German settled the Texas Hill Country there. So Lukenbach means Gap Creek is what it means. That's the definition. Recently, during COVID, a man started distilling a whiskey by the name of Lukenbach Road Whiskey. And this man decided that he would buy 400 acres close to Lukenbach. And when John Crouch's heirs heard about this, they went into litigation with him. Well, on this property, they were going to sell housing developments. They were going to sell Harley Davidsons. They were going to put up hotels. They were going to build a Salt Lick barbecue in this area. And they were going to wreck what is an amazing place. It's a beautiful place. In the middle of nowhere, in the middle of Texas Hill Country.
Yeah.
And so, even to this day, this litigation is still going on.
And the closest big town is 100 miles away? Is that what you said?
The closest big town.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fredericksburg is closer. Fredericksburg would be about the size, I'm guessing, of a Jesup, probably.
Okay, so where do all the people come from for the dance hall and everything?
Oh, from all over Texas, from out of state.
Oh, okay.
It is a
That,
well, Waylon and Willie made it quite the
Okay.
place.
Okay.
And they've done a nice job. You know, especially in the summertime. It's a gathering spot.
Yeah.
So but Lukenbach is an unincorporated town, and it's a special place. So that's the story for the week.
It's amazing to me how many. I saw a picture in the paper in St. Olaf, which is near Elkader. They made a grain bin into a bed and breakfast. It's for a single bed. I don't know what's in there. I imagine, but you can rent it for like $140 a night. And I was saying, I've been at St. Olaf. They have a bar there that has magnificent tenderloins, if I'm
Right.
thinking right. And how many little towns, like Littleton has the Littleton Lounge, that a lot of people, that's their place to go. And a lot of these tiny little towns, they have one thing like that, like the Gunderberger or whatever, that brings people to even a very small city like that. So it's just interesting to me how many of those there are around the state that are excellent places to go and get something to eat, and you wouldn't really know about it unless you happen to know about it. So
Blake.
Okay, you might have said this and I might have missed it, but do you know what the name of the county Lukenbach is in?
Oh, it's in Gillespie County.
Is it
I
Gillespie
did know that.
County?
Yes, it is. Yes,
I
it
just
is.
looked
Yep.
that up.
Yep. Yeah, I did know that. Yeah, I wasn't going to blow my horn too hard about that, Blake. But you're right. Yes, it is.
can I say something about song lyrics?
Yes.
Went to a baseball game in Hudson, and my son is the announcer, so he plays the music between innings and before the game and this sort of thing. So there was a song going, and I was familiar with the song but didn't really know it. And I was paying the nice little lady the money for the ticket, and she was right outside the fence, and she said, "Have you ever listened to the lyrics of that song?" And I said, "No, I haven't." Well, she said, "I've been sitting here listening to it, and it's really kind of nasty." And I said, "Oh, I didn't know that." So now I have to remember the name of the song so I can look it up, but I couldn't wait, of course, to tell my son about it. But kind of fun. All
Yeah.
right, go ahead.
Yeah, thank
You
you.
got to listen.
Joe, what else do you have going on in the county?
That's what we have for the city celebrations this summer. We have other attractions that are open, like Frank Lloyd Wright's Cedar Rock. I think Katie Hund was on here about that. We've got the Buchanan County Visitor Center and Illinois Central Depot Museum, Heartland Acres, Lee Mansion, the Farmers Market in Independence, the Wapsie Mill, historic Route 20 and Freedom Rock, the Iowa's largest fry pan in Brandon, Fontana, the Amish communities, Richardson Jakeway historic site, and then we've got a bunch of community aquatic centers and different trails and camping and historical societies. So lots of things to do in Buchanan County.
There are.
We have that little one-room school in Jesup up on North Street.
Yeah.
I've always thought it'd be nice if somebody, I know the garden club has the outside looking just fantastic, and I'm not sure, I haven't been inside for a long time, but I know that they used to take the little kids out and have a day of school out there with
Right.
them. And if that was something that some people would like to see or not, I don't know. We had it open one year during Farmers Day, and we didn't have very many people stop, but I don't know, it could be made into something that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
Especially while we still have some people alive that actually went to a one-room country school. So
Yeah. Events with the Steve Brown Art Center this week include Art in the Park from 1 until 2 in the Pavilion with Mary Struben. The Steve Brown Art Center is at the Independence Farmers Market from 8 until noon this coming Saturday. And then, as I said, the 7th and the 8th, we will be in the Corn Band Gazebo, or the Land of Corn Band Gazebo, from 12 until 7 on July 7th, periodically, and 12 until 6, July 8th. We've developed a pretty good library of StoryCorps stories if you go to StoryCorps.
That's good.
Don't forget our website is the SteveBrownArtsCenter.org. Facebook is the Steve Brown Arts Center, and Twitter is the Steve Brown Arts Center. A shout out to Josie Lloyd. She manages our Facebook and Twitter, and Kara Masteller runs our website. If you'd like to donate to the Steve Brown Arts Center or have an idea for an event, go to SteveBrownArtsCenter.org and follow the link. Before we finish, though, Dale has a short story on monarchs.
It's not, I was going to start with throwing out a shot to, and I was hearing Yvette Vogel. They had the Red Cross blood drive today, and she has chaired that for many, many years. She makes apple crisp, cherry crisp, strawberry rhubarb crisp, and one other kind with ice cream, and that's something she does. What she serves after you give blood, and. But I was up there, she was at the Methodist Church, so I was opening the church and helping her set chairs and stuff around. And she puts a lot of work into it, and says her poor husband helps her a lot too, whether he wants to or not. But I just think it's great that somebody like that will have spent, I don't know, maybe 20 years running that blood drive, and for a very worthy cause. And I think she expected well over 60 today. So I hope she met, her goal. So,
yeah.
Okay. I was coming back from Minneapolis yesterday, and along 35, they have a big sign that says Monarch Flyway. And they did that a few years ago because the monarchs are in trouble. And I thought, well, it's a good flyway, and you got plenty of grassy area you can grow milkweed and flowers and this sort of thing. But it's a bad place because you got all these cars flying down the road, killing monarchs. And years ago, this back in the 70s, I taught second graders a unit on monarchs. And we'd get body parts to put under the microscope so they could see the little flakes on the wings, and the clubbed antenna, and the little spikes on their feet, and this sort of thing on their legs. And you'd just go out in the teacher's parking lot, walk among the cars, and you could find dead monarchs. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. I've seen one so far this year, and I have a milkweed plant that I grow, and so they are in trouble. And so I was just encouraging people to. And it's great to plant milkweed. Monarchs are in trouble because they have milkweed. If all the milkweed is gone, then the monarchs are gone. And so as people sprayed more ditches and fields, they're having real problems, and the populations are way down. So they are a fascinating little creature. You figure you have a little egg on a milkweed leaf, and then a little caterpillar comes out very tiny, and he eats that eggshell. And then he starts chomping away on those tough milkweed leaves. And they say that because, you ever tasted milkweed, the juice? As a kid, I did. I thought, milk. It's terrible. But that helps keep predators away from these little caterpillars because they taste horrible because they eat milkweed. But they eat and eat and eat and eat and grow and grow and grow and grow. And then all at once they get real restless and they start crawling away. And they will find a spot, and they'll climb up, and they can make like silk, like spider out of their mouth. So they make this little silk button, and they get turned around. They got these two little spikes at the very end, at the tail end. They stick into that button, and then they hang down, and they form a J, and they'll just hang there. And then all at once you'll see them, they'll start wriggling, and that skin will split. And they will wriggle and wriggle and wriggle until that skin comes clear up the body to the very top where the little button is, and then it will fall off. But then what you got left is a beautiful little green, looks like a little bag. It's got beautiful gold dots on it along the seams. It's the most beautiful thing. And so that sits there. And inside, as I say, it liquefies, and then a butterfly forms out of that.
Oh, wow.
And when it turns black, it's going to split open. And then when it turns black, that's the monarch inside there. It'll split open, and it'll crawl out, and it just hangs there. And it's got tiny little wings and a big swollen abdomen. And it'll hang there, and it has to dry. And it'll start pumping those wings, and it pumps the fluid from the abdomen out into the veins in their wings, and that hardens. And when that hardens, then they can fly away. And you think about it, you have a caterpillar. The caterpillar is, his eye is good to tell light from dark. That's about it. The monarch has a faceted eye, thousands of facets it can see in every direction at once. The caterpillar has a mouth that can chew these tough milkweed leaves. The monarch has a little tube, a proboscis, and all it does is drink liquid. The caterpillar, all it can do is crawl. The monarch can fly all over. And so it's just, the change is, it couldn't be more of a change from that caterpillar through the chrysalis to that monarch butterfly. And you can tell the males have two little black spots on the hind wings, the females don't. And they live a few weeks, and they mate, and then the female lays eggs and they die. And that cycle goes on over the summer, but in late August through in September, that butterfly that caterpillar hatches out, and then it becomes a butterfly. It doesn't mate, and it congregates on butterfly trees where with thousands of other butterflies, and they fly south to Mexico. And they winter there, and then the next spring, they start flying back. And they say they found one monarch in England once. They figure it must have flown over the Atlantic Ocean, probably got caught in an air current or something. Yeah. But they fly over the desert in Mexico and all that sort of thing to get to this one area where it's cool enough that they don't burn up all their energy. They just kind of hang there, and they can cluster on each other, keeping themselves warm.
Right.
And they stay there during the winter, and in the spring they start back, and that one doesn't make it all the way back. They go with the milkweed. And then, so you get one generation, they'll fly a little farther, and then they get to Iowa and this sort of thing, and all over the country. So they're just a fascinating little critter. And I often wondered, and used to something Sandra at Fontana, because she does the tagging every September, of how many butterflies she's tagged like 20 years ago and how many in the last few years. I bet the number is much smaller, because I've done that with her before, and several years ago we caught quite a few of them. But so anyway, they're just such a fascinating little creature that all they need is they need milkweed and they need flowers. And so if you have space in your garden or in your yard, a little flower bed, to get a milkweed plant in, why, they grow very easily and they come back every year, and you'll get monarch butterflies, and it's one way to really help them. And then if they have some flowers for the nectar, why, I don't know, they're a tremendous little bug.
Yes.
And what they go through is it's just amazing. I mean, you think about a little pig grows into a big pig, but this is a complete revolution. It's just entirely different from the beginning to the end. And so I thought I mentioned monarchs, and if you have a chance, plant some milkweed, some flowers, and in Japan they're called flying flowers. I think that's so wonderful.
Oh,
that's
that
what
is
they're called,
neat.
butterflies. And so I thought that's pretty neat. So anyway, that's my thing about monarchs.
Well, thank you. Speaking of butterflies, a listener, Andy Boniface Martin, sent me a couple pictures this week of, she calls them, I believe they call them omen butterflies. Have you heard of those, Jill?
No,
I hadn't heard of them either, but they're just beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, they're different colors like the monarchs.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. But she has a neat little garden out back of her house, from what I could tell, and she took a couple pictures.
Yeah. I left out one thing, that's guacamole. But the farmers, guacamole is so big, and avocados, and so some of the farmers in Mexico in that area are cutting down the butterfly trees so they can grow avocado trees to provide avocados to America for the guacamole. And so that's one more thing, one more strike against them, so. But the numbers, the percentage of butterflies that are there every year is down every year, and so they are in real trouble. So it's something that even in our lifetime we could see the end of them. So
Sort of like the bees that bring the honey.
Yeah.
We're losing.
well, butterflies are pollinators too. I mean, they help with that, and so, like the bees do. And several years ago, where they had in certain streams were in trouble, they were dying out, and the ecologists were saying that's a warning to us as people that if these frogs aren't making it in the water it's there, it's going to roll back. It's just a warning sign that things are not well, and that we need to do something different, because if it's killing those frogs, then it's just going to roll up to us someday. And so, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Thank
welcome.
you. Yeah, heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. It is to think what we once had.
Yeah.
So.
If you'd like to donate to the Steve Brown Arts Center, have an idea for an event, go to stevebrownartscenter.org and follow the link. If you have news or would like to sponsor us, email us at stevebrownartscenter.org. Call 319-290-0241 and leave a message. I'm Jim Gillespie. Thanks to special guest Jill Chemin and co-host Dale Rueber, producer Blake Tempus, and Kelly Seahas at Cowork 591 Studios. Thanks to the audience for bringing these stray dogs into your day. Remember, each day is about little victories.
Very much.